Well, that is not good, guys. That's not how the serpentine belt and the hose supposed to be. I didn't pay attention and I routed the hose right between the serpentine belt. Oh well, gotta fix it. And hello and welcome to another Xterra video where I work on my truck. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. So in today's video I'm gonna continue fixing my coolant leaking that I had developed recently, because some of the clamps, they are old, rusty, and they broke. And if you saw one of the previous videos, I show you the pipe over there that is all rusty. So that's where we're gonna be working today. We're gonna be replacing that rusty pipe. So I finally got the replacement pipe from a Nissan. Hopefully it's the right one, but what it looks like, I think it's the right one. And also I got a bunch of new hoses. Well, not bunch of, but a couple of new hoses that I'm gonna replace, as well as the new clamps. I'm gonna be replacing my clamps as well, because to tell you the truth, guys, I already had to tighten up this clamp once and a second clamp that is on a thermostat. So hopefully I can get it all done today. I don't know why this one and the other one went loose over time, but since I'm gonna be draining my coolant, I might as well replace them. So that was my plan for today. So let's hope it works. Now, to begin with, to create more room on top, because I have to work on those clamps over there and to have more access over there on top, I'm gonna remove my air intake, and then we're gonna work on the knees. Remove these two bolts over here and these two bolts over here, and then we can take the whole thing out. Alright, now we have more access. So now let's see if we can start removing some hoses, some clamps, and trying to work and see if we can remove that pipe over there and replace it. Alright guys, so the pipe in question is this pipe. Alright, and actually I'm gonna replace this hose and this pipe if all goes well. But in order to remove that pipe, I will have to take out the serpentine belt, because there is a bolt right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. I don't know how about the lighting is over there. I have to remove this bolt, one of the bolts, but serpentine belt is in the way, so I'll have to remove the serpentine belt. And hopefully those bolts are not too rusty, I can unscrew them easy. But only time will show. It's gonna be kind of hard to record, but I'll try to record as much as I can. But maybe I'm just gonna be able to show you like steps and maybe final result. We'll see. So wish me luck, guys. Hopefully I can remove all of this. So I'm not gonna remove the serpentine belt completely. I'm just gonna loosen it up. So to do that, I'm just gonna stick the wrench in there, and then we're just gonna loosen the tension of it and just take it out. Alright, that should be fine for us. So the metal pipe is connected to the engine in two places, and one of them is all the way over there, and underneath you basically cannot see what you're doing there. So in order to unscrew that bolt, this is what you have to use. You have to use a 12mm long socket with a swiggly thing and extension, and only with that I was able to kind of get it in position over there. I hope you guys can see it. And from here I was finally able to loosen that bolt up, and I think I got it. And just like that, it's very hard to see that bolt, guys. I was actually struggling for quite some time trying to remove it, but I think I broke it loose. So I hope you guys can see that is the bolt over there. Finally I think I got it loose, and now I'm just gonna carefully, I'm gonna try to undo it by hand without dropping it or anything. I cannot see where it is or what it is. It's like one of those pictures, one of those memes. Yeah. Alright, and the bolt is out. And alright guys, I broke loose the second screw just to make sure that we can be able to remove it all. So now I'm gonna drain all the coolant out, and then we can continue replacing everything. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to drain all the coolant. If you have a brand new coolant and it's clean, I mean, you can reuse it, but I bought new gallons of coolant and I'm just gonna pour a new coolant inside whenever we're done. And as you can see, my coolant is pretty clean, so that's good. There is no any milky shake or anything, because of course I replaced my radiator, so that's good. But it's sort of like a little flush we're doing right now anyways, to flush all the stuff from the engine and stuff. So now I'm gonna try to remove this hose, and at the same time we're gonna remove the whole tube out. So hopefully there is no coolant left inside, but you never know. So right now I'm just gonna undo the last bolt that's holding the tubing. Alright, it's out. Now I'm gonna undo this clamp and hopefully I can take the whole thing out. Now these clamps are pretty much... yeah, this clamp is broken actually. It's not doing anything. So what I have to do is just try to undo the whole hose out. And alright guys, finally I got this pipe out. Just look at it, how bad it is. It's all rusty, it's like it's about to break. And this hose over here, it was ripping as well, it was ripped. So the clamp over here was broken. This clamp over here is barely holding as well. All of this is pretty bad. But now we have a new pipe, so now I'm gonna work on putting everything back again. So I'm gonna be replacing this hose and this pipe, of course. I'm gonna use new clamps. As you can see, these two clamps, like I said, this one over here, it was broken as well, so that's not good. And this one was on top, not good as well. And actually I'm also gonna be replacing the other side of the hose. Hopefully I can do it easy. Like I said, I have new clamps over here and I have new clamps for radiator hose, so that's what we're gonna be working on. So now I'm gonna put the new hose clamp over here on by the thermostat. Hopefully now it's all gonna be good and it's never gonna come off. Right guys, so now it's time to put our new pipe in and start slowly assembling everything back. So now just a matter of wiggling it back in place. I had to remove more of the serpentine belt because it was in the way. So now I just need to push it back inside there carefully. And alright guys, after a little bit of a struggle I finally got that pipe in. Unfortunately the camera shut down at that moment. So now I'm gonna start assembling this side. So we can put this hose back in place over here. This is our new hose that I got from Nissan. Let's put this in here. Now let's put a new clamp over it, just like that. Let's put a new clamp over here, just like that, and let's connect this hose with the pipe. All right, I think that's where it has to be, or maybe more, depending where the screws are gonna be. So now I can start putting the screws back in place and we'll continue. As the new pipe is in place, I already tightened it up. I didn't record that part because I don't know, it's probably hard to see there anyways. So now I'm putting the new clamps with a new piece of hose over here. So now I'm just releasing these clamps. Maybe sometimes it's easier to do it with the right tool, but channel locks, they work as well. And that's it. This is good. So now I'm gonna work on this side. I'm gonna replace this hose that comes from over here. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. It's very hard to see it, so I don't know how I'm gonna record this part, but basically from here it goes up and then it ends up over here. So I'm gonna replace this part. Like I said, I'm probably not gonna even bother recording this because it's extremely hard to see this part over here. So once I record this, I'm just gonna show you guys. And as you can see, I already replaced these clamps over here. I'm just gonna release this one whenever I'm done, and we're pretty much done. Alright guys, the old hose is out. As you can see, it's pretty bad, and over here it looks like it started to rip as well. So since I'm replacing all of that, I figured might as well replace this hose as well. I could have replaced even more hoses, but yeah, I didn't think that far ahead. So now I'm gonna put the new one in and gonna pretty much start tightening up all the connectors, all the clamps, and then we're gonna start filling up with the new coolant and making sure nothing leaks anywhere. So now I'm just working on getting the new hose in place over here. There we go. Gotta make sure it goes all the way to the end, because that's where the other pipe was. Alright, that looks good. Now I'm gonna release this clamp over here, and we're done up here. So now I'm gonna replace this last connector over here, and hopefully we're all set. I'm gonna take this one out. Now we're gonna twist the hose around a couple of times to break it loose. Alright. Of course, there is something gonna be leaking as always, so be ready for that. Let's take this out. Let's take the new clamp. Let's put it over the hose, like so. Let's put the clamp where it's supposed to be, and now we can work away putting the hose in place. Just wiggling it, just like that. There we go. That's where it's supposed to be. And now we can just release this lock, and the clamp is gonna be where it's supposed to be. There we go. Nice and tight. Alright guys, so we're pretty much done, I hope. Now always double check, make sure you put everything in place, make sure you tighten up all the bolts, all the clamps here and over there. Let's check over here, make sure everything is in place, everything is connected. And as you can see, hopefully you can see right there, new clamp, the new pipe, everything is in place. So now I'm just gonna put the serpentine belt back in place, and then we're gonna start filling up with new coolant.
A few moments later.
Well, that is not good, guys. That's not how the serpentine belt and the hose supposed to be. I didn't pay attention, and I routed the hose right between the serpentine belt. Oh well, gotta fix it. Alright guys, so I fixed that small issue that the hose went inside the serpentine belt. I put the serpentine belt in place. Just always double check that all the connectors are tight, everything is in place, everything is good, how it's supposed to be. So now I'm just gonna start assembling this all back, and then we're gonna start filling up with new coolant. Alright, so everything is done. So now we're gonna start filling up with the coolant, and I need to put approximately about 2 3/4 gallons of coolant, but always check your manual, check how much your truck is gonna take, and depending on how much we drained, we might need to add more or less, but just slowly gonna start dumping it in. Alright guys, so as of now it seems to be that the radiator is full. So far I only put about 1.5 gallons of coolant in there. So now what I need to do is to start the truck and let it all circulate through, and just keep an eye on it. Gotta make sure if it goes slower to keep adding it. So for now I'm just gonna close this up, and we're gonna start the truck. And also make sure you put the heat to the maximum, put it to the hot, so that way it's gonna all circulate. And another technique is to squeeze the hose a little bit to pump the coolant through the system. So now I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, add as necessary, and we'll take it from there. So as you can see, the thermostat opened up, the temperature raised up. So now I have to keep an eye, gotta make sure I have the hot air coming through here. I have no air in the system. Alright guys, it's all done. The car is blowing hot air, so it's all good. We put enough of the coolant. It was almost 2.5 gallons of coolant I put in there, but it's all good now. And I'm glad I'm very glad that this is finally got replaced, because this could have broke anytime. I feel like it's all rusty. It's all very rusty. So we have new clamps now, new pipes, new hoses over there. So yes, I'm happy. Unfortunately, I was not able to record all the procedures in there because, like I said, it's very hard to record there, but you guys got the point. So anyways, now I'm just gonna clean up, pick up all my tools, and I'm gonna go probably for a ride and enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you might find it helpful, and until next time, everybody, bye.